Hello, my crafting friends. This is Renee Novak at blessedbycards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I am here today with another Make It Monday tutorial. Today we are going to create 11 different cards from one sheet of 12 by 12 designer series paper. This technique is called the One Sheet Wonder, and it's kind of wonderful because you just use one piece of 12 by 12 paper and you create a lot of different cards. So let me just quickly go through the cutting template with you. You're going to basically make 3 cuts in your 12 by 12 paper. You're going to cut your first strip at 5 1/4, your second strip at 4, and your third one will be what's left over, 2 3/4. So all of those initial cuts will be strips of 12, 5 1/4 by 12, 4 by 12, 2 3/4 by 12. And then each strip you're going to cut these images. So for the first strip you would have cut a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, and this 2 of those. And then you'll have another piece of 4 left over that you're going to cut 2 by 5 1/4 and 2. So that makes your first strip of 5 1/4 by 12. So the second strip, which will measure 4 by 12, you're going to cut 4 pieces 3 by 4. And that'll take care of the second strip of 4 by 12. And your last strip, which you're left with, 2 3/4 by 12, you're going to cut the first pieces 2 squares of 2 3/4. Then you're going to cut that square on the diagonal, creating 2 little triangles for your second piece. And then the last piece will be a piece that measures 6 1/2 by 2 3/4. You're going to cut it at 5 1/2, so you'll have this little strip left over that you're not going to need. And then you'll have a piece that measures 5 1/2 by 2 3/4. And you want to cut that at 2 inches, which will give you a 2-piece, 2 by 5 1/2, and a 3/4 by 5 1/2. So that's the cutting. If you purchase $35 from me during the month of April 2021, I will send you this template and all the instructions on how to make today's cards. There are 11 different cards, and I will send you all the cutting instructions and how I put them together along with the template. So for the template, I broke it down into measurements. These are A cards, B cards, C cards, D cards, E and F, and then this little strip you don't use. So again, if you place a $35 order this month, April 2021, I'll be happy to email you that template and the instructions. So let's get started with that first strip of 5 1/4 by 12 that you cut down to create 2 cards that measure 5 1/4 by 4. These are the 2 that I created. Now the stamps that I used today are the Art Gallery Bundle, and I also used the Happy Thoughts. This is the Happy Thoughts bundle. Or it's not a bundle, it's a Happy Thoughts stamp set, and it has a variety of different greetings in it. And the other one I used was the Art Gallery Bundle. The designer series paper that I'm using is the Fine Art Floral. So these are the 2 cards that I created with that bigger piece that measures 5 1/4 by 4. And in that same strip, you'll have 2 other pieces that measure 2 by 5 1/4. And these are the 2 cards that I created using that strip. This is Mary Merlot, and this is Pretty Peacock. I used a little bit of Pool Party on this one and a little bit of Garden Green on this one. Again, this is the Art Gallery Bundle, and this is the Happy Thoughts stamp set. So those 4 cards were from that first strip that you cut, 5 1/4 by 12. The second strip that you cut, which you got 4 pieces of 3 by 4s, these are the cards that I created using those 3 by 4 pieces. This one I created by flipping it over. I like the opposite side of the flower, and so I just added some of the Art Gallery Bundle floral. I created a darker image behind it, and I used the tailored tag punch on this one, and this is Petal Pink. So that's 2 of those 3x4s. And then I created these with the 3x4 pieces on the bottom. This one I added a white at the top, and this one I used the circle layering circles. I added some black matte dots on this one and a strip of Poppy Parade. So those are the 4 cards with the second cut that you made. And then that last strip that measured 2 3/4 by 12 that you cut, that one, this is the square that we cut on the diagonal, and this is the 2 3/4 inch square that was not cut. And I separated the 2 just to give a little dimension on the corner, a little color. Again, I used the opposite side of the floral on this one. I stamped and cropped this out with the dies. This is Pool Party and Pretty Peacock. This is the Happy Thoughts stamp. On this one, I used the Versamark to create the background on the card itself. So anytime you use the Versamark ink, it'll take on the color of your cardstock, giving you a tone-on-tone look. So I really kind of like that. And it looked well, I thought, with the art gallery paper. And then the last one that I created was with that strip of 5 1/2 that I cut by 2, and then underneath here I slipped that 3/4 of an inch strip by 5 1/2 just to give it a little dimension, a little color. Brought out the pool party color in this one. I added a little flower that I cropped out using the dies. This is Mary Merlot. Again, this is that Happy Thought set. Added some black matte dots. And this particular frame here is the So Sentimental dies. So those are the 3 cards that I created using the last strip. There you have it, 11 different cards that we used to create out of one sheet of 12 by 12 designer series paper. Again, if you purchase $35 in the month of April, I'll be happy to send you the template and all the instructions that you need to create and cut these cards. That is all I have today for the Monday Make It tutorial. I hope you join me again next week for another Make It Monday. Until then, be blessed.